Hey y'all! In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these orange fantasy cupcakes. These dreamy cupcakes are made with orange Fanta. Yes, the soda. Fanta actually comes from the German word for fantasy, and once you taste these, you'll see why. They're soft, citrusy, and topped with a creamy orange buttercream that's out of this world. So let's get started. Before I get started, I need to mention the fact that I'm making a small batch of cupcakes, just 12. So if you want more, you can double the recipe. And the first thing that I'm going to do is sift 1 cup of cake flour into a mixing bowl. The next step is to sift 3/4 cup granulated sugar into the same mixing bowl where you have your flour. The next step is to sift 1½ teaspoons baking powder along with 1/4 teaspoon salt. You're going to cream 1/4 cup softened butter or shortening using an electric hand mixer. Now I'm adding 1 egg and I'm going to combine that with the shortening using the hand mixer. And here is the main ingredient, Fanta. I'm going to be using 3/4 cup and I'm going to alternate the Fanta with the flour mixture. I'm going to start by adding some Fanta to my shortening mixture in the bowl. It's recommended that the Fanta be room temperature. Of course, that's up to you. I don't know why that is. It's just a recommendation. And I'm going to alternate the Fanta with the flour mixture, beating after each addition. You want to keep doing this until you run out of both. And by the way, with this recipe, you can add about a ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract to the batter, but only if you want to. It's optional. You don't have to. If you think it will improve the flavor, you can go ahead and do it, but I didn't do it in this case and it came out very well. But I did add vanilla to the icing, as you're about to see. So I've lined my cupcake tin with liners and I'm filling each of them about halfway to about 2/3 full. You don't want to overfill them because you only have enough for 12 cupcakes. So you want to evenly distribute them. And I'm going to bake these in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now mine were done at about 14 or 15 minutes, but please keep in mind that not all ovens are the same. So you may need to adjust either your baking time or oven temperature depending on your oven. You should know whenever they're done by the way they smell, and you can test for doneness by inserting a toothpick or a butter knife in the middle and it should come out clean. But you don't want to over bake these because that can make all the difference in the world. They won't taste as good. They will be dry if you over bake them. So it's really important to keep an eye on these. And here are my beautiful cupcakes. I can already tell that these are going to be delicious. They are not over baked. Now remember, this recipe only makes a small batch, a dozen. So if you want more, you can double or triple the recipe, whatever you want. So I'm going to let these cool down. I let them cool down in the pan for about 10 minutes and then I move them to a cooling grid to cool down more while I make the frosting. To make the frosting, I'm going to use 1 stick of butter that's been sitting at room temperature to soften it up, and I'm going to cream that using a hand mixer. Now I'm going to sift my powdered sugar and gradually add that to the bowl, beating after each addition, the bowl that I have my softened butter in. I ended up using 2 1/3 cup powdered sugar for this frosting to get it to the consistency that I wanted. As you are mixing your butter and your powdered sugar, you're going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of orange soda to the mixture. I only used 2 tablespoons, but of course you can use however much you think you need. If you taste the frosting and you think it's a little bit too sweet for your taste, of course you can add a little bit of salt. I would start out very gradually and adding just maybe 1/8 teaspoon and seeing how you like it. That's what I did. And I ended up adding just a little over ½ teaspoon of salt to my frosting. But of course, it's optional. If you don't want salt in your frosting, you don't have to add it. And to mellow out this sweetness, I'm going to add about a ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract. Of course, that's up to you. If you want to add it or not, it's optional, but I do recommend it. Now I'm going to add some orange zest. About a ½ an orange is all you want to use. And this step is optional, but it really enhances the flavor and it's a nice touch. You can see the little flecks of orange in the icing and I think it looks pretty. I'm using a Wilton 1M tip to create my swirls and also a piping bag that I'm going to put my frosting in as you're about to see. Here's a tip to make things easier for you. Place your piping bag inside of a tall glass and fill it up with your frosting. And now you're ready to frost. And that's what I'm doing here. The classic swirl using the Wilton 1M tip is so easy to do, and it looks very pretty. I'm not an expert at frosting cakes or cupcakes. By no means am I an expert, but this is easy to do. I highly recommend that you learn how to do this. There's plenty of YouTube videos that will show you how. And there you go. My cupcakes are frosted and ready to eat. Don't they look beautiful? I have 2 vintage recipes from the 1940s that inspired these orange cupcakes. One was for orange cupcakes that calls for using orange juice, and those were pretty good, but they just weren't that impressive. Believe me when I say that adding the orange soda makes all the difference in the world as far as taste goes. I know that some people like the idea of using orange juice instead of orange soda, but these are so much better. And I actually used fresh orange juice whenever I tried to make those, or I made them, but they didn't come out as good as I would like. So these are so much better using the Fanta. They really are. Yes, they're very sweet, but you're not going to eat them every day, just sometimes on special occasions. If you like the orange flavored desserts, they're so good. And the other recipe that inspired these was a recipe that I have called the 1 Egg Wonder Cake, which is really just 1 layer of vanilla cake. I just wanted to make a small batch. I didn't need 2 dozen cupcakes or more. So the 1 Egg Wonder Cake recipe also inspired these orange cupcakes. Okay, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so because I do plan to upload more great content in the future. And while you're here, please do check out my link in the bio. Please visit my Amazon page where I make a lot of great recommendations about everything from things for the home, things for the kitchen, you name it. Thanks for watching.